Welcome to the Comedy Here Often podcast. I'm your host, Kevy. With me, as always, is young Alexi. This week on the show, we got Darcy Michael and Jane Stanton.
Yeah, start recording. Yeah. And then, okay, but what if I turn the camera around? Can you hear me now? Okay. Oh my God, she blew dry her hair for you guys today.
Wow.
First.
Oh, you did it. You did it, Jane. Hi, buddy.
I've been on Zoom, Darcy. Some people have day jobs sometimes, right?
Yeah, okay. All right, let's start.
Alexi and I are on the same team. It's shirts versus skins.
All right.
We're both wearing black. This is good to go.
Yeah.
You guys are on the same team. I was just talking about how Darcy's dog looks comatose in the background, and I love that for him.
Oh my God, this is happening.
You shut those little fuckers up. I spent all morning working on my dog. You take him for a walk?
I don't take my dogs for walks. Oh my God, you guys have to hold on. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. In the meantime, Darcy, let's talk about how you hate baseball.
I do. I think it's the dumbest sport in the world. You can literally gain weight while you're playing it. You know, like it's so dumb. My parents have this amazing photo of me at I think I was 7 or 8, just such a little gay boy. They made me play baseball. I was outfield, and they had this photo of me sitting in the outfield, covered in daisies that I had picked. And the balls landed 5 feet away from me, and I'm not even moving. And that's where baseball is for me. My dad was like, yeah, all right, we won't make him play anymore. But my husband loves watching it, and I hate it because it's always in the afternoon. It's always during summer when it's beautiful out. And he's like, oh, I just want to watch the game. And then he just lays on the couch and sleeps like a 90-year-old man, and nothing changes. Because his whole thing is you watch the first 2 innings, and then you sleep until the 7th inning, and then things get good again. And I'm like, why don't you just take the last fucking inning and we can do something with our life? Not that we can do anything with our life right now, but thankfully there's no fucking baseball.
Yeah. Wow, I love that. I love it's I don't know if you've ever been to a game, but I went with a bunch of people who are really into it, and I was like, okay guys, gotta explain to me how this works. I don't really get it. We get there, they're not watching. I'm the only one watching.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Their phones, they got their garlic fries.
Oh yeah.
I think that's why people like baseball is because of garlic fries.
So years ago when I was filming Spun Out, I had begged the producers to get me tickets to a Blue Jays game. And so they got me tickets, and I was on the second row at the first baseline. But the night before we partied really hard, and it was at 1 p.m, and the sun was beaming down on us. And I got there, I bought foam fingers, I bought all this stuff. We spent $80 on shit. I watched the first pitch go. I throw up onto the side of the chair, and then we just got up and left. I was like, I can't watch this.
I think you did baseball right. I think that's how
I did baseball.
Hey, Jane,
we can't hear you.
We got no audio from you.
And
figure that out.
I'm going bareback, guys.
Okay, right. Wow. Shirts versus barebacks. Alexa, the name of the episode.
Okay.
Exactly how.
Canadians game I went, I was so excited, started drinking. Yeah, this is going to be great. And then I'm like, and you're exactly right, Kevy, within the first 5-10 minutes of people that were into it, that knew the stats, were just talking to everyone. I was
no one cares.
Focus.
No one watches. No one's watching.
So long, and I got so drunk.
They also do what are called double headers, where it's 2 games in a row because no one's sweating.
Oh my God! Is that what a double header? They play back-to-back games?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Of course they did.
They could play back-to-back games for 7 days. You walk.
No other sport is doing that whatsoever.
What other sport, by the way? No. What other sport, by the way, that it's oh, you can hit a home run, but if you're tired, we'll have someone else run it for you.
That's only one of the conferences, though, isn't it?
It's if I was a tennis player and it's Serena's going to pitch this.
Pitch? She's going to pitch to you?
Okay, whatever. Listen, don't you bring your fucking sense. Jane and I haven't spoken in 3 days. We're in a fight.
Oh, no.
We're not. He phoned me this morning, and he was like, hey. And I'm like, we'll talk today. Shut up.
Oh, goodness. Alexi
We
and I
normally
will
talk
guidance
like
counselor you
4
back
times a
together.
day.
What?
Alexi and I will guidance counselor you guys back together.
Yes.
We're back together. It's all
We'll put
good.
you back into friend zone.
Okay.
I love this. I want to say one more thing about baseball, which is that it's actually about golf, because when I was like 7 or 8, my dad loves golf, and he was like, they're such amazing athletes. And it's the moment when I realized I have Larry David in me as a child. I'm like, they're not athletes. I was like 8. I'm like, they're not athletes. He's like, what are you talking about? They're athletes. I'm like, they drive carts. They're not athletes. There's like a seniors league. And then I remember, this is a pretty good argument for like an 8-year-old. I was like, ping pong players are better athletes than golfers.
Yeah.
Ping pong players are amazing.
I play ping pong like 3 days a week, and I am 3 days a week. I'm 3 days a week. I'm close to a heart attack. It is literally, even the guy I play against is like, should you maybe sit down for a minute? I'm like, I'm fine. Let's go.
How dare you?
I put golf players on par with pool players, pool sharks, darts, any of that. It's accuracy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
if you can be pre-diabetic and play a sport, it's not a sport.
Are you calling me pre-diabetic?
I am for years.
I am.
Wait, Jane, was the dog that was barking, was that Hoffman?
I don't know who it was. I have 3 dogs here right now. I can't even. It was Lulu. It was the little rat.
She's a fucking asshole.
Alexi, Jane has a dog named Hoffman, named after Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Really?
Yeah.
On her album that Darcy and I co-produced, she has a bit where she goes, Hoffman, Hoffman, Hoffman. And I love it. It's in my head all the
That's
time.
how I call him. He's so dumb. He still doesn't know his name. And when he takes off, I'll be like, Hoffman? Hoffman? And he'll just he won't even look at me. Like I was with Darcy. We thought he was deaf.
No, he's the dumbest. The other day we went for a social distance walk together, and between Hoffman and Yuma, it was literally the entire walk of us visiting was one of us going, Hoffman, Yuma, Hoffman, Yuma, Yuma. Oh, actually, I don't want to say her name. She's going to wake up. Everyone calm down. The baby is sleeping.
He's so a crazy dog person. I never thought he'd be. He's so crazy.
I definitely need help for sure. I'm a little obsessed. I realized the other day I was talking to somebody and I was telling them a Yuma story, and then I just in my head went, all you do is talk about this fucking dog. Literally. She has more fans on TikTok than I have on all social media combined.
Wow.
Oh my
She's
God.
pretty popular.
Celebrity.
Yeah, she's an influencer.
What's her handle?
Yeah.
It's Yuma Dog.
Yuma Dog. I'm going to follow her.
Cool.
Yeah. You've got one more follower, Yuma Dog.
Yeah.
Wait, so
Product placement.
Yeah. Are dog people, does that mean you despise cats?
No,
No,
I
he
love
has
cats. I had cats. Rest in peace, Felicia.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, she died in October, and 2 days later we got Yuma because I deal with death well.
I love cats. I just can't get a cat because then I'd have 2 dogs and a cat. I'm never getting a cat.
Yeah, Jane is 2 cats away from being alone for the rest of her life. So we really paused that. Yeah,
One
okay.
cat.
Yeah,
Let's not say 2 cats.
It's when you train the cats to ride on the dog's backs when you go for walks that you go, oh, there's someone that doesn't need anybody else in there.
That's what I've gotten Lulu to do. She rides Hoffman. I don't need anyone else, guys.
I'm picturing a little dog saddle, and it makes me happy.
Yes.
A dog saddle for another dog.
Yeah.
That would be adorable. You could get her a little sidecar, dress Hoffman up as a motorcycle, have a little sidecar hanging off of her.
Like a 21 with a scarf and
Yeah, little goggles.
I really love it. I love it. So, what have you all been doing with all your time at home? I live by myself, so I've been watching the movie Castaway over and over again, and I'm really into it.
Loop it.
I've decided to only do tweets about Castaway. Jane, what have you been up to?
The first 2 to 3 weeks, I thought, let's gain the most weight I can in a short amount of time.
I love that game.
I was just like, carbs. If we run out of food, I'll be good for a couple months. Yeah. I gained 18 pounds now I've lost 8 pounds because I'm like, Jane, get your life together. Life is going back to normal someday. I was watching a lot of TV shows. Darcy got me at the very beginning of the pandemic. I started The Good Fight. He's like, Jane, that's like the prequel to the sequel. Shut up. And so when I started The Good Wife, 7 seasons, I'm done. And I'm done The Good Fight. That's just the tip of the iceberg, Kevy, to be honest, of what I've watched. Well, The Good Fight only
22 episodes.
No, The Good Fight is only 10. Shut up.
The Good Fight, but The Good Wife, 7 seasons, 22 episodes, 22 one-hour episodes. I'm so proud of you.
I love it.
That's all I'm saying. Like, I think it's important to commit to something. I finished Pornhub. That was
I like that it sounds like when you say you finished Pornhub, it sounds like you're the one who started it, and I love that.
I started something, I'll tell you. You know how everyone keeps saying like the COVID-15 for the weight thing? I heard it as COVID-50, so I really dove in. I think I've put on 20 pounds. And I'm walking like 20,000 steps a day with this little asshole behind me. Oh, fuck, it's always backwards there. But I'm still gaining weight because I am incapable of making a meal that doesn't include cheese. Even smoothies, I'm like,
what are you ordering, Darcy? Ask him what he's ordering. What are you ordering?
Okay. I, as an example of how much we are supporting local businesses in this household, we walked by the Domino's store the other day and the staff applauded us. Literally stood there and clapped like we're healthcare workers.
Wow.
We actually broke up with Domino's last night, Jane. Jared and I had a deep heart-to-heart over our last 4 pizzas and decided that...
It's so nice.
Well, because Sunday, we always order pizza on Sunday because we end up taking way too many mushrooms, and then by the time the end of the day comes around, it's time for some pizza. But then, like, Tuesdays and Thursdays, we just...
That's a pizza day too, guys, FYI.
Yeah.
I love the sound of that.
No, but we started putting some of our pizza boxes in our neighbors' recycling on garbage night because everyone to see all of our pizza boxes. So at like midnight when we're walking the dog, I'm sneaking garbage, like recycling into other people's just so we don't get shamed.
What do I do with condoms?
I filled up the recycling bin with condoms, and now I got to use my neighbor's recycling bin and put my condoms there. I love a nice back alley shame walk where you can just see what everyone's addiction is right now. Yeah. I'm definitely drinking a lot more. Alexi is a chef, so she's been cooking, so she's actually putting her addictions to good use, actually.
Yeah.
She still owes me a pizza.
I made pizza last night. I have 1 extra dough. It's coming. I should just do that today. I should do that later on today. I'll make you pizza. I'll bring it over.
I think you should. The way you're sounding, you sound very Italian, so I think it's going to be a good
authenticity.
Also, speaking of Castaway, which I will be doing all episode.
I've never seen it.
Oh, it's great.
Me either.
It's really good, but... Tom Hanks put on 60 pounds so that he could really lose weight for that movie. And the impressive thing to me about that story is putting on 60 pounds because that's what I want to do because that's all I care about right now is pizza. So that's the part of the story that resonated with me.
I just, I think I'd be less stressed about this whole thing if they told us, hey, Darce, you don't have to worry. Summer's not going to happen. So in the fall, start thinking about your 2021 summer body. But I feel like they're going to be like, hey, bitches, it's June 15th. Everything's open. And I'm just going to be on the beach looking like a marshmallow melting into the sun. And I'm just stressed about it.
It's going to be like
I had a smoothie this morning.
It's going to be like a flash sale of when summer's gonna hit. It's going to be like,
I don't fit into my pants anymore. Like I tried to put jeans on the other day and I can't do the button up. And I was like, oh, okay. So we are just elastic waistbands for a while.
I need to go pause. Lexi, are you your chef? What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, I used to cook at Federico's a couple years ago.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Didn't we do a show there?
Yeah, every night Federico does the same. Well, not anymore because they just closed. But Federico's, he does the same like routine every single night, and it's like never changed. It's like an Italian restaurant.
On the Drive, right?
Yeah.
I did a show there once, and it was supposed to be clean, and no one told me, and I got like the light super quick. I was like, okay, I'm still getting paid, right? Yeah, they were really mad. Weren't you on the show, Jane? Didn't you do it with me?
No, because it was supposed to be clean.
Oh yeah.
They didn't want to talk about, blowjobs and whatnot with meatballs. They're like, what?
Can I borrow those meatballs? This is a visual joke.
They're getting their chicken parmesan, and I'm like, oh, that'd be good between my breasts.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine. That would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Was it all old people there? I just feel like it was like the 8 there.
No, it was. I remember it was.
Hey, Darcy, I wasn't really asking you.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Oh, goodness.
Wow.
The fight is
Are you
back
coming
on.
for me? All right. Sorry. Yeah, you go ahead.
They would it was always like old people or like people that like to dance professionally almost, but they would just go and eat there,
old people,
show off, and yeah, it was a party.
Hey Darcy, what's the most sort of friction you've ever felt from a crowd you're performing for? Like, I assume doing a restaurant where they're not expecting comedy is something like that, where you start doing stand-up and they're like, what the hell's going on?
Definitely any kind of restaurant. I'm trying to think, like, the worst, like, friction was in Medicine Hat.
You phoned me.
It was terrifying. These guys, like, it was in a bar. It was, I don't want to say what the club, it was a one-nighter for this place. It rhymes with Chuck Chuck. Yeah, that's it.
It was a chicken restaurant.
Yeah. But so it was like one of these, like, there's no, like, people aren't paying to see the show. You just get paid by the bar. This is like, what, 7 years ago, Jane? I don't even know.
It was more than 7 years ago, Darcy.
Probably. I have no concept of time. And even the fact that I remember this show, I don't know what I did, like, ever in my career. But this one stuck with me because I was literally up on stage and there was a group of, like, just redneck skinheads in the audience, and they were loving the stoner jokes. And then when I came out, it was like all the energy in the room just got sucked up, and they started heckling and throwing shit, and they got kicked out.
Wow.
So afterwards, they were in the parking lot waiting for me, and no one in the club, in the bar, none of the people associated with the show would walk me the 200 feet from the bar to the hotel. And so I had to call, it was either you or was it you? I had to call Jane, give her the address to the hotel and the local RCMP detachment number, because I was in Medicine Hat, she was in Vancouver. It was like, if the phone dies, you have to call for help. Like, these guys are going to fucking kill me. And I ran from the bar to the hotel, and they chased me right to the lobby of the hotel. And then we ended up having the hottest fucking sex. It was just like fucking chain me up.
That's not
how I met Jer.
Now I don't know what part of the story happened.
No, they literally.
I forgot 2 things in that, Darcy. One was you phoned me while you were running to the thing. You're like, Jane, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But I thought he had, like, decided to lose weight. This is when he was big and going to treadmill.
I was probably 300 pounds.
And secondly, they stood up and booed you, and like
they did.
literally were like,
it was very aggressive. It was a very stressful situation, but I survived. And the funniest thing is, if anything, I probably would have died from the heart attack of running at that point than anything else. Because I was probably like 25, so it was about 300 pounds off. What year is it? How old am I now? I'm 40. Oh no, I was probably. Jesus. Yeah, it was a while ago. 15 years ago.
Oh, wow.
What about you, Jane? Did what's the most unhelpful crowd you've ever performed in front of?
I thought we never really had a bad show. So.
It's more like it's hard to narrow down.
Oh, what?
What's that?
What did you say? Oh, okay. I'll tell you. This one was, so the MC goes up and there's at the very front, there's the whole front row. So 20 people, they're there for a birthday, but this guy keeps standing up like he's on a roller coaster. Wow! I'm like, but he's in his 50s and doesn't get kicked out.
Where is this?
Abbotsford.
Another Chuck.
Another Chucky Chucks. And so then the guest spot goes up and just is like, he does his 5-minute set, like, and so nothing. And then the middle goes up, and the guy that was yelling, I thought, left because he was so drunk or got kicked out. Well, you don't get kicked out, and was gone for like 20 minutes. And then so the middle started to do crowd work. When I'm like, no, because it was like a huge group that was like ruining the show. And it was full. And then it just went horrible. So then I go up, the first 20 minutes, the guy's not there. It's going good. And then he comes and sits down, and I see him, and I'm like, no. And then he's like, hey. I'm like, no. Like I was a teacher or a mom. Thank God I'm not. I was like, no. And I was like, not today. And then he started heckling me. And I was like, no. I'm like, you have ruined the show. Like, no one likes you. And everyone and then everyone was like, yeah. And he's like, we're the same. I'm like, and I just, usually I'll try so many different things, be nice, but he just was so gross because he'd ruined the whole entire thing. I just was like, we're not the same. You're disgusting. You're like gross, like drunk. And everyone's like, it's his birthday. I'm like, he's not a 5-year-old. A 5-year-old would have behaved better than him. They're like, he's 50. I'm like, no, I know. Like, and then he's like, ugh, like grabbing his crotch. And then I see this lady beside him. I'm like, oh, is that your wife? Like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, she's pretty. He's like, oh, you're into chicks. I'm like, no, I just don't know why she's with you.
Oh, nice.
And then I don't know why I did this. I put my leg, I always put my leg up on a bar stool. And then I pretended to be the wife. And I was like, I don't know why I'm with him. 20 years. He's never amounted to anything. Today's the day. I'll leave him today. Like everyone was like losing it. And then it went silent, and I looked, and he was up on stage, like here. And I looked, and I'm like, huh. And then I was like, get the fuck off. But I like literally was freaked. And then this huge man in the second row, who was like 6'7", was like, don't touch her, get the fuck down.
Good.
And then there was kind of a thing, and then they stayed, and then they served him more alcohol.
Oh my God.
But it was like, it wasn't until I was driving home that I'm like, I've never had someone on stage come up at me. And then he came up when I was leaving. And he was like, yeah, I was going to come and punch you. I'm like, and then what?
Oh, my God.
That rattled me because no one ever really comes on stage, right? Like, that you think.
It's illegal.
Is it illegal?
I
don't know if it's illegal.
I would like it to be, Kevin.
But in my defense, I was.
Because, I mean, it's illegal to drink on stage in some venues. I'm pretty sure it's illegal for I don't know. I don't know why I thought that.
Listen, half of the stages we're performing on are fucking jerry-rigged tables. We got some action.
Okay.
More.
I'll tell you the most awkward thing I've ever seen in a comedy show. And it was at JFL like 6 years ago or something. It was Dimitri Martin's show. Maybe you've even heard of this happening. But it was a bunch of comics, like Todd Glass opened and John Doerr, and then Dimitri Martin went on stage. And if you don't know, Alexi, I don't know if you know him, but he's kind of like a man child. Like his whole thing is like drawings, and he's got a bowl cut, and he's like very sort of innocent.
He's like Napoleon Dynamite as a comedian.
So he's like a minute into his set, and and he tells like kind of like a purposely sort of cheesy joke, and some guy in the front's like, "Boo!" and and Dimitri Martin totally breaks character and sits cross-legged on the stage, and he's like, "I'm not doing another joke until that guy gets kicked out." And he just sat there in silence, and everyone's like, "Ha ha ha!" And then after like 2 minutes, everyone's like, "Oh!" And Dimitri Martin didn't care. He's like, whatever. Yeah. It's like the end of tour, and like he just broke his whole like, onstage character. And then the guy left. Like no one kicked him out. He was just like, so he just leaves. And then we get back to it, and he starts doing his set again. And then the guy right in front of me stands up and goes, "Take the heckle." And he's like a big biker guy, and his wife was like, "Shut up, shut up." And I was sitting next to Steve Bays. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah.
And he literally started going like this because everyone was looking at us.
Oh my God.
And Dimitri Martin sat on the ground again, and everyone booed him, and people just started leaving.
Oh my
God.
It was crazy.
I think I'm going to do this from now on. If a show's not going well, I'm just going to sit cross-legged.
Yeah.
Not if someone heckles me, I'll just be like,
Yeah, no. The contracts always say how much time you have to be on stage. Doesn't say anything about being funny.
Darcy, you're so right.
I'm just here to fulfill my contractual obligations.
That would have been awkward.
Yeah, it was incredibly awkward. It was like he just seemed really mad, and so it really took away from like his kind of persona. You know what I mean? Kind of shattered it for people. It was really crazy. Yeah, and people, the crowd was mad. Like mad
Montreal.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Did you mean Montreal or here, Kevy?
It was here. It was at the Vogue.
Oh, Vancouver people were mad?
Yeah.
Vancouver people.
Oh, the Vogue. Never mind. The Vogue is trash.
I have seen.
Who did we see?
It was Conan, Andy. Is it Richter?
No.
That's Conan's right-hand man. Literally all the people around me at the Vogue, he came out within a minute. Everyone's booing. I'm like, what's wrong with Vancouver? Like,
yeah. Who was it, Jane? Who's the British guy that does the zippy one-liners we saw at the Vogue together?
Oh, Jimmy Carr.
Jimmy Carr. And
love him.
Jimmy's a fucking genius. And that audience at the Vogue was just like real edge. Like they were booing every second joke. It was crazy to me.
Yeah. Vancouver's hard to please that way. I went to a bunch of JFL stuff this year, and I remember I was at the Rio. I wanted to see our friend Randy open for Donnell Rawlings. And during Donnell Rawlings, he's like, he's on Chappelle's show. I remember I could audibly hear the air conditioning in the room. It's like, wow, what a live crowd. This is great.
Yeah.
That is really He even said, he's like, you guys need to wake up. This is boring for me. Like he was like chastising the crowd. It was pretty.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Vancouver is the best training ground for Canada, I think. Vancouver or East Coast for touring the rest of the place, though, because the audiences are so mixed. Like if you can do well in Vancouver, you can just consistently crush further across.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I still think we have the best comics. Like,
until you hit Quebec, and then you're just going to eat a dick on stage.
That might be a good closer.
Yeah.
we have like 10 minutes left on the call, but I quickly want to get to one segment, which is your worst day job stories.
So many.
I used to work at a discount movie theater, and people would just come in drunk all the time, and I'd throw them out all the time. You guys have any stories like that?
Jane?
I have so many horrible jobs. I worked when I graduated at like a Olafson in Park and Tilford, a bagel sandwich place.
Okay.
And I, for whatever reason, I don't drink milk. I find it phlegmy. It's disgusting. And people would always be like, oh, chocolate milk. And I was like, one day after work, I don't know why, I decided let's steal some chocolate milk. And so I'd like make us sandwiches. This is before I was diagnosed with celiac, and I'd have a bagel thing, and I was leaving, and the boss, like the owner's brother or something was there. He's like, "What's in your jacket?" I'm like, "Nothing's in my jacket." He's like, "What's in your jacket?" I'm like, "Nothing's in my jacket." He's like, "Let me see." I'm like, "Don't you touch me." I was zipping it up. He's like, "Let me see." I'm like, "You can't touch me." And he's like, "Is something there?" I'm like, "Nothing's there. You're being weird." And I leave. That was always my thing. If I'm going to lie or anything, I'll commit to it. When I had fake ID and the bouncer's like, "This isn't you." I'm like, "It is me." He's like, "I'll call the cops." I'm like, "Call the fucking cops. I don't care." And then I got into the club. I just will commit to it. That's what you have to do. And then the next day, the boss is like, "Jane, what was going on yesterday? Did you like steal something?" I'm like, "Of course I didn't steal something. I'm offended that you would even say that. Like, why would you say that?" He's like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't know why." And I'm like, it was just weird because I had my jacket on and he was like trying to like get my jacket and there was nothing there.
That is a great strategy. Wow. I love that. Did you ever get in trouble?
No, me all the time. I was always like in high school. I was grounded every single weekend in grade 10. I jump off my balcony and go out and do acid and be kicked out. I was the worst.
That's badass.
Jane, were we on the swim club together?
Yes, we were. We were on Chena Swim Club, winter swimming, when I was 10 and you were 2.
I would have been about 3 years old when you were 10 because you're archaic. No, how old are you? You're 4 years older than me?
Yeah.
So I was 6. I would have been.
Oh, you were like, no, then I was 14.
I would have been 8.
I was 16.
Yeah.
So we swam together and then we also went to Gastown Actors Studio together.
Wow.
But we didn't actually know each other through any of that. Like, we met in stand-up, and Jane was the one that was like, "You used to go to Gastown Actors Studio." I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, we went together, and I obviously didn't remember her because she doesn't have a penis. But she has photos of us at this thing, and then we realized we also swam together. But
I also told Darcy a story about him to him, making fun of him, not knowing it was him. That's
how we put it together.
I was like, yeah, when we did sketch, there was this guy, he was an idiot, wore Adidas shoes, which Darcy still does all the time, the Run DMC, and he was like, he would only play the certain games he was good at. He was such a fucking little shithead. And then he went, and he's laughing, but it wasn't that funny. But I was like, huh? And then I said, oh, then they went to Second City in Toronto. And he's like, that was me, bitch. I'm like,
good time.
Friends ever since.
Basically, yeah. She's got two. Now that I know she knows about Gastown Actors Studios, she's got too many stories on me. I have to keep her close. What was my I've had like 40 jobs before I got into stand up, but my first or second job was working at Zeller's over Christmas when I was like 14. It was at Park Royal in West Van, and I remember it was like there was some like hot item. I think it was some sort of Barbie that year that everyone wanted, and this woman called and someone transferred to the toy department where I worked. It was like my second day. And I answered, and she's like, "Do you have this thing?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sure we do." And she was like, "Can you check?" And so I put her on hold, and I stood there, and I waited like what I think would be the appropriate amount of time, because I'm like, I'm not going to go and look at all these toys to see if we have something. Like, she can fucking come down and stuff. So then I went back, and I was like, "Yeah, we got it." And I hung up. An hour later, this woman shows up and is screaming bloody murder at everybody because somebody told her on the phone. And so I'm just trying to avoid speaking around her. And then eventually my supervisor was like, "Did you tell her?" And I was like, "Yeah, I thought we had it. Someone must have bought it." And this woman was ready to fucking murder me. And that's when I gave up on materialism.
She helped you. She changed your life for the better. And now you're the Zen Buddhist that we know today.
Right?
Thank goodness for that crazy lady.
I'm trying to get my hands. There we go. Can you see? Oh, and I'm hiding my jewel at the same time. Now that's some Zen shit right there.
That is. Every Buddhist vapes. Okay, my friends, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Okay, it was nice to see you, buddy.
I know, so nice to see you.
That was a blast.
Glad we finally got
Fuck
to do
you, Jane.
Oh, no. Just things were going so well up until now.
Because I'm pregnant with his child.
Oh, my goodness. Darcy, how dare you?
Well, now you understand where that 18 pounds came from.
What a great way to end it. Bye, guys.
Thank you for listening to the Comedy Here Often podcast. I've been your host, Kevin. Thank you to Darcy, Michael, and Jane Stanton. Make sure to follow them on social media. Make sure to follow us on social media at Comedy Here Often on all platforms. And make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. We'll see you next week.